So today we are doing a pretty special piece. We're doing a memorial tattoo on my friend Whitney, and we're doing, a memorial tattoo of our friend Bonnie. So this is the portrait we have. It'll be going on her arm. And then at the bottom, we have Come What You May, which was a tattoo that he had. So I directly translated those words into this piece for kind of even more of a sentimental meaning, but really, really cool piece we're doing today. And I'll show you how I'm going to format it on the arm. So what I'm looking for is I want it to space out enough, but I don't want it to warp. We don't want too much warp. We're not like overstretching this where it's gonna do this to the face, right? That's what I'm really paying attention to here. So we're gonna line it up nice. I'm gonna have it just under her natural shoulder cuff, meaning this thing. I don't want it to fall too far into there. We're just doing everything to protect the integrity of the face. With portraits, I'll tend to like go a little smaller on the arm with that intent to not warp, to not change. If I'm doing like illustrative face or something like that, I might just take up the whole area because it's like, who cares? We're just not trying to look like anything. It can be weird and kind of surreal. But with the photorealism stuff, we are trying to get it exactly like the reference. So the flattest surface wins. So when I do portraits, I set up my reference like this. The difference is the one on the right has no lines on top. It's just a pure image. Some people will even print these out because you can get some glare on the iPad. I'll just work around the glare, but another method is you could just print out a picture. You have a nice enough printer. And then this one has the stencil on it or the lines. So I have that here. You can see them on and off. And I'll be jumping between my references. This kind of lets me know where I am on the map, but then this is my true version of it. Because maybe I draw a line somewhere, but I'm just pointing out a shade, just to remind myself that it's not a line. So I'll be jumping back and forth. I'll have both these up the whole time. Another little trick is I try to keep the portrait true to the size of what it is on the arm. So I'm not gonna be like zooming in like this because it's just unnecessary details. Most of the time I'm gonna be keeping it at this size, what it looks like on there. And that's just kind of a useful tool to know how much detail to go into, what I have to pay attention to. I'm just trying to translate the image. So that's how I do that with my reference. Making our way up the face. So I'm working on his facial hair. And a lot of times to show that texture, I'm really just making small lines, that are like showing direction. This is very common with, any kind of beard or mustache. with this like shorter hair, you know, the same as like on animals. Just doing this back and forth motion, or I'm almost like kind of pulling a line just to get that texture effect. And then once I get that texture in there, you know, certain parts might have like a higher value, so you will see me like just brushing, shading over the texture that I've created, and it'll give that effect of you know, beard, goatee. So I'm lightly shading these like areas of the chin and the cheeks, and what I'm doing is just trying to kind of bump the value on this. I want to leave the least amount of skin tone as possible so I can really drive the eye to the highlights. You know, in this case, it's going to be on the lip right here. You know, I'll throw in some white. And the easiest way to do that is to eliminate the skin tone around it. So it's not even, it's really just a wash. You know, it's very light, but I'm putting it around it to just build that value in the face, to make it look full of life. If you leave a lot of open skin, it'll look flat and it'll almost look dead. So this is something to keep an eye on with your portraits. So we got the face done. You can see on the reference, the face is pretty light. What really brings it out is that dark background. So I'm gonna continue throwing this dark background and really have the face pop. You can see looking over from here how light it is. And then on this side, where I have implemented the background, it really pops. It comes forward, it puts all the attention on him in the light spots of the cheeks. The eye is exactly where we want it, on the teeth, big nice smile. So yeah, we'll just finish up the background. We'll see the full effect that it has on the piece with the contrast. Nice high value. In the face, getting rid of a lot of the negative space, it does gray out the face a little bit with this portrait. So also adding this dark background is gonna bring all that together and not look so flat. So background portraits, definitely key. When I'm meeting the portrait with the background, I'm slightly going over, like I guess let's call it the line of the portrait, and this will blur it a little bit and kind of help put it in the background, just kind of help mesh it with the background. Even things like the ears or the hair, I blurred out a little bit so it doesn't take away from the face. All these things are intentional just to drive the eye. Like if I'm designing something like this, I am choosing where the viewer is going to look or where I want them to look. And if I blur or simplify things other than that, it draws all the attention to where the detail is, which is the face. I think we really accomplished this on this piece. You guys will kind of see it more at the end. So we are done. We're just letting it kind of relax for a second and bleed out. This piece is really special to me. It was very fulfilling to do. I mean, the whole time, you know, I'm building this piece up, I'm building up this portrait. I know Bonnie. Bonnie is the person in the portrait. You know, he was an awesome person. He'd come by the shop all the time, you know, to always let us know like the wacky things he was doing. Like, this is a person I know, so to be able to do this portrait and like literally have it come to life, you know, in front of me as I'm doing it, and then the reward at the end is seeing him smile back. This was a very, very special piece for me. So I'm excited for you guys to see it. We're just gonna let it bleed for a second or two, and then we'll get some pictures and videos.